here, and it involves India hockey star Birendra Lakra. I remember Birendra Lakra was part of the Indian team, the Indian men's hockey team that ended up winning a bronze. That ended up was part of the Olympic medal winning team of 2020. But well, he's been caught up in something that is, to be fair, that could actually derail his career in many ways. In one, so the thing is, the story is here simple: is that Birendra Lakra has been accused in the death of his childhood friend. Now, the allegation comes about 4 months after his friend allegedly passed away due to suicide. But the accusation that has now come his way, come in the way of Birendra Lakra and in fact his partner, it has come from the kin of the deceased, and they have said that they have actually demanded an inquiry or a CBI investigation into the matter because they believe that Birendra Lakra is responsible for this his childhood friend's death. Now, bear in mind again, as I said, that his childhood friend had passed away due to suicide, and was in fact it had happened 4 months prior. But what has now happened is that the parents of the deceased have actually pointed a finger at Birendra Lakra for playing a part in this death. The death happened in February 28th, and he was afterwards he was found actually in an apartment, in his apartment, and he was later taken to a hospital where he was declared dead. And the thing is that the deceased's father has now alleged that Lakra was probably involved because Lakra was apparently, according to the father, Lakra and his partner were the only people who were at that point in touch with this person, the deceased. In fact, according to the father, he says that only Lakra and the woman were present in the flat at that point, and it was in fact the woman who first saw the deceased in that state, and that was when the alarm was raised. Now, bear in mind that obviously at this point these are just allegations, but there would most likely be investigations into the matter. But if it's true, or even if it's not true, we don't really know anything beyond just the allegations at this point. And I cannot stress that enough, that this is very much a developing story as things stand. So it would not be fair to actually be passing any judgments on the matter, because as I said, we don't really know what exactly the story is here in its entirety. All we know is that Lakra has been accused of playing a part in this man's death, and that the accusation has come from the deceased father. So obviously, quite it's not the best of stories in that regard for anyone to be caught up in, because we don't really know all the details here. The fact of the matter is that the details as things stand are very sketchy. All we know is that Birendra Lakra, who was a 32-year-old and has been part of the Indian team that won a medal in the Olympics, and he was also the captain of the Indian men's hockey team, remember, that won a bronze in the Asia Cup very recently. Lakra was captaining that side as well, because the Indian hockey team were trying out multiple captains in a bid to kind of increase the leadership pool, let's say. But it turns out that Lakra has now been caught up in this investigation, or in this soup, let's say, because we don't really know about what more details are. All we know is that he's been accused. What we can tell you for sure in that regard is that he will most likely be tried, or at least he will be arrested, or there will be some sort of an investigation into it. We don't really know much in terms of details at this point, because as I said, details are very sketchy, and all that we really know is that an accusation has been made by someone, and that someone being, of course, the father of the person who passed away. So whether or not any of this is true, we don't really know yet. And so it's just a very unfortunate situation all around. We don't really know what exactly has happened here. The death, remember, it happened in February 28th, and it was ruled at that point, at least according to the police, it was ruled a suicide. But as things stand, the father has now alleged that maybe Birendra Lakra has been, he was in some way involved, in this death. And it's as I said, we don't really know much about the situation in hand. All we know is that the details at this point are scant. So it's too soon to be making any judgments. But either way, this is by no means the end of the story in that regard. In fact, I would venture out and say that this is just the beginning of the matter, because, as I said, right now all that has happened is that accusations have been made. We might, uh, we might in fact end up getting to, getting more details about this as things stand, because, well, it's very much, details are very scant at this moment. So he has been if Lakra has been accused in this matter, it's very likely that this would be carried forward slightly. And obviously, as I said, this is a developing story. We don't really have much in the way of details just yet. But as I said, I don't suspect that this is going to be the end of the matter. So do in fact join us as we keep bringing you more updates from this, as well as from other important stories in the world of sport. Thank you all so much for joining us. As always, I've been Shane Dias, right now joining you from the comfort of my home, but I will be with you guys from office very soon, bringing you the latest and the best from the world of sports. So thank you for now. Bye bye.